एक सेकंड लोड हो रहा है. आर
What's
वी
loading?
आर वी वेट
What are you doing?
वेट फक किधर है वेट आर वी मदरफकर आर वी टेपिंग.
What the fuck? I'm keeping this in, you
You
know.
thought they should, yeah, like that's what she said, but like no, every
What
time you
we?
say are we recording,
Huh.
I thought let's give viewers something different
Something
this time.
new, something more adventurous,
Thesaurus.com
something
Zindabad.
more wonderful.
बात कर.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Rahul. This is Madhav. And we are gathered here for a very special occasion, for a very wonderful occasion. We are here to talk about Wonder Woman 1984 after what it's been like almost 2 months since it's released. No, it released in December, so like barely a
December,
month.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been available. Like we saw it in theaters back when it came out in December. And then it's also available on HBO Max and the high seas. So you can sail away if you want, because HBO Max is not available in India. But in any case, we do not endorse that. But in any case, let's get into it. Let's just talk about the movie.
Yeah.
So let's talk about general impressions, right? Let's just start with that.
Yeah.
Where are you with that?
You start, please.
Okay. Very mixed on this movie. When I saw it in the theaters, it was probably because I hadn't seen anything in theaters for a long time except Tenet. Tenet was the last film I saw before that in theaters. But it was probably because I hadn't seen a superhero movie in a theater or something in such a long time that when I came out of the theater, I was quite positive on it. I was like, yeah, fine, I enjoyed that. That was fine.
Yeah,
But then
I remember your initial reaction.
yeah. But then I sat with it for some time, and as I've seen more reaction from other people and all, and so like as I've sat with it for more time, I started realizing, wait, no, you know what? That thing was not. No, wait, that other thing. Oh shit! Hold up, Patty Jenkins. What the fuck did you do with this movie?
You were basically phantom menacing the movie.
Aha, yeah, sort of. So, and then that's what prompted me to go back and read about the first movie, about like which people were involved with the movie and who wrote it, and because as we'll get into it, there's a lot of different changes that not just like story and obviously, but tonally and character motivations, characterization. There's a lot of changes here that feels a little odd, but then if you read up on it behind the scenes, like which people wrote the movies and all that, then you'll understand why. So mostly mixed on it, overall disappointed, but there are still a few positive moments in there for me.
So ideally, I would have seen this twice before doing
Hmm.
this review. I just like to watch movies, like new movies, at least once more,
Hmm.
so that I don't have a false positive like you did. Uh, but when I got to the when I got the opportunity to watch it the second time, I just didn't want to,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I think that speaks volumes about the movie.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not as much mixed on it. I am more on the negative side.
Hmm.
Uh, I'll just say I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. That's basically
Yeah.
because yeah, I did
Same.
have a lot of expectations, and I know it's not good to go in with like high expectations or whatever, but there was no reason to expect something bad because
Yeah.
the Wonder Woman movie was the first like good movie which came in the DC EU,
Hmm.
and Patty Jenkins is also a good director.
Yeah.
Uh, say what you want, yeah, even the first one has its flaws or whatever, but overall, I still like the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And seeing the marketing for this is what got me more hyped because it seemed like they're going for more fun, like
Hmm.
DC has been in general. So I thought this might be Birds of Prey and Shazam ke saath jo kiya tha, but they're doing with Wonder Woman.
Hmm.
Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so let's just get into the like review only. So
Hmm.
let's start with positives. What did you like about this?
So the first positive I'm gonna mention is kind of a double-edged sword. It kind of turns into a negative thing. The fact that they kind of embrace the cheese and the cheesiness of that 80s superhero vibe. Especially like it starts off in the mall scene, right? So in the mall scene, it's the action is very like it's very much embraces that wackiness of the Christopher Reeve Superman movie when he's fighting crime for a montage, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of like that, where everyone's on wire works. It's the action is very like it's not very on your face, like edgy, I would say. It's very comical. So I was liking that. I thought, okay, fine, we're gonna go with that for the whole movie. But then, as the movie goes on, that feeling kind of goes away, and in comes the okay, they did this very lazily, or maybe the intention was there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make it
Yeah, that.
look like cheesy and all, but it comes across as very bad. So that's one thing. Second, I think Gal Gadot is much better here than she was in the uh, previous appearances in Wonder Woman and BVS and Justice League. So she has improved. The material is another thing, but she herself as the character has improved very much. I
Yeah.
like Chris Pine. Her and Chris Pine's chemistry is pretty good. I liked all the acting overall. Like I liked Kristen Vega's Cheetah. Like her
Mm.
as the character, she was really fun. I liked Pedro Pascal. He gave it his all. Like he was really acting the hell out of it. By the third act, he's just gone crazy. But that's the problem that I like those performances. I just don't like what I'm getting in the performance, like the actual characters and the dialogue and all that. So
Mm.
mostly it was the performances, the CGI. No, no, no. The CGI is not good in this movie. What the fuck? Fuck. Yeah, that's mostly it. I like that cheesy comical vibe they were going for in the first half, and mostly all the performances. But that's it.
I liked Hans Zimmer.
You know what? This movie kind of made me dislike Hans Zimmer in a certain way because up until up until like almost the third act, I'm really digging the score. Like the first scene, the score kind of blends the BVS Wonder Woman score and a new theme that they
There is
come in.
the BVS wala Wonder Woman score. There's a motif
Yeah,
throughout the movie, actually.
yeah. I was liking that, but then
Yeah.
when she okay, now we're going into spoilers. Okay, fine, because everyone has had the
Oh,
chance to
yeah,
say
yeah.
it. So
Spoiler
full
alert.
spoilers.
Whatever.
But then, and I noticed two things this time which made me go, wow, Zimmer is getting a bit lazy here. The first thing, the first time when she learns to fly, after like she renounces her wish and starts to fly, Zimmer uses a theme called In Time or something. I don't know the name of the theme, but he has used that theme a lot. As Mr. Sunday Movies pointed out, it was in Sunshine, that movie. It was in, I think it was in Inception, most likely it was. And it has been in many other pop culture. Like I've heard that theme so many times. It's not a theme made for the movie. It's like, हाँ पुराना वाला theme है. I really like it. People like it. I'll just use it here. And the second time was when she's convincing Maxwell Lord and the entire world, ki, like, give away your wishes.
Yeah.
They use the Martha theme, the Beautiful Lie theme.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When Wonder
Oh, I
Woman's
was
giving her
really just
speech.
not enjoying the movie enough to notice.
When she's giving that speech, and I was in the theater, and I was just like, hold up, wait, this is that theme, fuck. Because, like, I love that theme. It's the theme when basically BVS's opening theme.
Oh,
That
okay.
theme. They use
The
that again.
flashback, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh,
When Bruce's
when
parents die
Bruce
and all
Wayne
that.
is going through the field
Hmm.
and he comes across the morgue,
Yeah.
whatever.
So at first I thought, like, I took it as okay, fine. It's almost like an Easter egg, but also the theme is pretty cool, so why not? But then the more I think about it, come on, listen, it's so weird because the DCE is trying to get away from Snyder's vision and all that, but at the same time they use the same theme and they used another theme from a previous movie. It's weird. But yeah, overall, I like the music in general. Up
Uh,
until like those certain moments, aside from those, I really like the music.
yeah, like the opening scene, the triathlon,
Hmm.
uska music, I was really digging it.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
this is awesome. This is good.
Hmm.
Uh, that really got me into the movie because you're opening with this big, um, technically an action scene because there's a lot of action happening. Uh, but yeah, it's cool. It sets up Diana's arc well.
Hmm.
Um, it brings us back into uh, the Wonder Woman story from the first one, and yeah, it was fun to watch. Also
Yeah.
because that sequence was very clearly shot in IMAX.
Yeah.
Um, good use of IMAX. Uh, and then the second scene happens, which is the mall fight.
Hmm.
That was also super fun.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, this is like colorful. This is like you said, they're embracing the cheese, but
Hmm.
they're sort of using it skillfully.
Yeah.
They're not just generically following whatever happened in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're also having a lot of fun with it. That even tiny moments which I wouldn't usually like her smiling at the kid,
The little kid. Yeah.
and stuff like that. That was cool. That was fun. Even her one-liners were witty, and it seemed like okay, this is gonna be just fun.
Hmm. I love how every point we're making in positive, it just ends in such a downer, kind of like the movie. So, okay, let's talk about the first scene, right? Because
Let's
the
yeah.
first thing that the scene on Themyscira, really fun scene, really good looking scene, but there's like no point to that scene. It's just there because I feel like it was in the contract that you need Robin Wright and you need those that other person who plays the uh, aunt, like her trainer, Diana's
Her
trainer.
mentor.
Yeah, yeah, I'm forgetting the name. But you
Yeah,
like,
same
I
here.
feel like it was just in the contract. You needed those two for one scene, so they just wrote one scene. Because later, even when she's given that
Maybe.
speech, no, at the
Ha, no,
end,
no, no, no. Yeah, yeah. So that my theory on that is not contractual. Yeah, it could be entirely
could be.
contractual, but they use the scene well still. Uh,
No,
in
the
terms
scene
of
itself is good.
setting up her, in terms of like I said, setting up Diana's arc,
Hmm.
that she needs to not basically not take shortcuts
Hmm. Hmm.
and embrace the truth and earn uh, whatever is good in life, uh, instead of just wanting more essay. And it even set up, uh, to an extent it set up, what was the name, Asteria.
Yeah, Asteria.
Yeah, so I didn't think that scene was like completely useless. um Maybe,
It
yeah,
just,
I see what you're saying. It could be in contractual, but they
yeah.
still made it matter a little bit. It wasn't
Yeah,
entirely
I mean,
pointless.
there's no scene in,
uh
like, no scene in any of these movies which
because
is
because
like
if I'm
completely
imagining,
useless. I'm not saying
yeah,
that. It's
we
very
will
hard
get
to
to
say
that.
that. No, it's very
We'll
hard
get to
because,
that.
like, when you're including any scene, right? Like, thoda to you have to contextualize it in terms of the larger story anyway. You have to do that.
Yeah, there, we will get to that. So okay, so basically what I'm saying is, first act of this movie
Hmm.
I like. It
Yeah.
was fun, it was engaging, and it made me look forward to what is to come. Then the rest of the movie happens, and it's just okay, we'll just start with Kristen Wiig.
Okay.
Her character, this is the main complaint everyone is going to have, so let's just state it. It's a generic trope.
Hmm.
It was done back in fucking Batman Forever.
Yeah.
uh, and this movie is more Batman Forever than Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I will get to why later. But yeah, she's timid, she's introverted, she's like shy and socially anxious, and she wants to be not all of that.
Hmm.
And then her whole thing is like she wants to be like Diana. And Diana at that moment is struggling with like being lonely and missing Steve Trevor and stuff, and so that's her thing. And then the villain is introduced, Maxwell Lord.
Hmm.
Just best name for a corporate type villain, Max Lord or kya chahiye. uh,
You
and yeah,
haven't
like you
even
said,
seen my final
so
form yet. I am Max Lord.
Yeah, and Max Lord. Okay, Pedro Pascal. I really didn't think Pedro Pascal had it in him to ham, because every character is played, even the one in GOT,
Hmm.
especially Mando, even the one he played in Narcos.
Huh.
All these characters have been really sort of stripped and calm and
Hmm.
really like confident, headstrong. This was him doing his, or at least trying to be Nicolas Cage. I wouldn't say all out Nicolas Cage. This is basically he saw Ewan McGregor in Birds of Prey, and he went to Patty Jenkins and was like, "मैं ये कर रहा है."
Oh,
And
fuck. Now that you say that.
right.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
So so yeah. Now getting into my problems. The biggest problem of mine was the story was so disconnected.
Hmm.
Holy shit, the first half of this movie is boring as fuck. By first half I mean everything after the first act, because the first
Hmm.
act is still fun. uh, because the first half involves a lot of, okay, here is MacGuffin, this wishing stone. Now the MacGuffin has become a person. Now the person is here, so we must go here. Now they're here, so we must go there. Oh, I find out this, I find out that, exposition, exposition. And it's basically there, it's like a national treasure movie
Hmm.
where they're basically just finding stuff, they're just looking for stuff. There is barely any character over there in the first half. So first half I was getting really bored, and it didn't help that for a Wonder Woman movie there is very little Wonder Womaning.
Yeah.
She's in the suit like 3 times
Three times, and
in the whole
the
movie.
first time we get it right at the beginning, and then that sets up a really good thing. Okay, fine, like I really like her and Wonder Woman and all that, but
Yeah,
then you don't see her suit up for like an hour.
an hour, it was definitely more.
Probably, yeah,
It
most
was
likely
at
more.
least an hour 40 minutes in this 2.5 hour movie that
Also,
she becomes Wonder Woman. Like, the 3 scenes, really?
so
Where the hell did your budget go?
why is this movie 2.5 hours long?
Why is this movie, I swear, the pacing
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
I could, dude, you give this movie to us as student editors, and we will re-edit it and make it slightly faster. Holy shit! Why are you taking everything so like? And that's the thing. Usually, when movies are this slow and this like focusing importantly on this thing or whatever, you're taking yourself too seriously,
Yeah.
which doesn't make sense because the first 2 scenes of yours were super fun.
Hmm.
They were enjoyable. So why is the rest of the movie taking itself so seriously? Why are you trying to be itna epic when even you know clearly that you don't have enough substance to make it epic? ये Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings nahi chal raha hai. This comes off as Jupiter ascending.
So some of my main problems with the movie, right, is um so obviously multiple things, and in no particular order, but so one thing, Kristen Wiig, I really liked her as Barbara,
Yeah.
uh, until she becomes Cheetah. Obviously, until she becomes Cheetah, I really liked her. I really like get her motivations and all that. Fine. About the trope thing, I get that, but that also, like I said earlier, right, that it's a double-edged sword. Like
Huh.
it started off, I felt like, okay, so there, it's kind of like an homage to those movies in the 80s where like Riddler, and then we got Electro in Amazing Spider-Man 2 and all that. But then it turns very negative. Like
And then
if you're gonna do it,
yeah,
do it properly, right? So there's
yeah.
that. One thing that really, really, really fucking bugged me throughout the entire movie is the physics of this world. There are no physics. There so I really hate it when any movie, right? So every movie has its own rules. Take it.
Yeah.
Every movie has its own rules. So I'm fine with the movie as long as you're abiding by your own rules. This movie feels like it's throwing its rules away every couple of minutes.
What rules?
Exactly.
There were no rules in the movie.
Yeah. So so it just comes across as so like lazy, and like when you go through the credits and there's like fucking 15 stunt performers and 12 stunt coordinators and shit
Yeah, I'm
like that,
like,
I'm like, what was that
where were
for?
all of them?
Yeah, exactly. So the
Because see, yeah, you're right, and you know, it's fine if a movie doesn't have rules or something, but they're really acting like they do. That's the problem.
yeah.
And that goes back to what I was saying. They're taking themselves way too seriously. And we get it. The first movie was epic and everything
Hmm.
fine. You can have fun now. You have earned that. Don't
Which
take
is also
shortcuts.
really kind of
So
surprising, because the first movie, the action was really well done.
hmm.
Like obviously the third act was kind of forced. Like Patty Jenkins has herself said that like she originally didn't want the third act
Clearly that's
to
clearly
end in
forced
a
by
boss
studio.
fight, but like the studio wanted it to.
That's
But
studio
here
problem, yeah.
I'm like, okay, fine, but except from that boss fight, you did everything really well. Like the World War sequences were really cool, really well done. But here, okay, Patty Jenkins, you've got, okay. Let's get into the our main, like, probably I think our main problem is with the writing, right? Which is in
Clearly.
the first movie, and I should look this up because I want to give the guy some credit. Um, Wonder Woman, the writer of Wonder Woman, the first movie, okay,
Yeah.
is, where is it? Screenplay by Alan Heinberg, story by Zack Snyder, Alan Heinberg, Jeff Johns, Jason Fuck, four people. But yeah, yeah. So screenplay was by one of those guys. Zack Snyder was involved in the story. Jeff Johns was
Yeah.
involved, and this other guy. Not like, don't know much about him. In this movie, they gave complete free reign to Patty Jenkins. So this story's screenplay and story both are by Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns. Take care. One of whom was involved in the first movie.
Yeah.
And that guy, Jeff Johns, is a really good comic book writer. All right. The thing is, he's a good comic book writer, and he was kind of appointed as the head of DC Films for a brief period. Like he was basically Warner Brothers Kevin Feige for DC for a very brief period. For I think it was like 2 years or something, and then he
Okay.
kind of stepped down. So this other guy came over and all that. So in any case, him and Patty Jenkins were given completely free reign. So any fault with the movie, we really can pin them on Patty this time around. And
Which is really surprising because
yeah,
have you seen this movie called Monster?
yeah, I know.
She
She,
wrote Monster.
yeah, exactly. So what
That is
happened here?
very surprising. So here's what I was getting to. I said that the biggest problem is story, and I went into pace. What I'm saying about the story is it
Hmm.
is very disconnected
Yeah.
because the I'm talking okay, talking thematic value wise. It is set up in the first scene. Ki her arc is going to be she has to accept the truth that good things don't come easily,
Hmm.
right? And then that doesn't come back till the third act
Hmm.
because everything else in the movie is like I said, it's fucking national treasure
Yeah.
mixed with Batman Forever. Uh, where like now I won't say it is completely devoid of character moments because you have Pedro Pascal trying to be with his son, which so much more of that was needed. His bond with his son was weak as fuck.
Hmm.
Uh, and yeah, basically they what I felt was while watching the movie, this script needed rewrites. This felt very first draft, very first draft, especially in dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you embrace 80s, that's fine. Don't embrace their dialogue, please. Feels like the first line that came to your mind and you just put it on paper. थोड़ा थोड़ा तो सोच लो a little bit, and it's mostly in the first half, dude. If the first half of this movie was actually good, no,
Hmm.
this entire story would have been good, I feel, because the story does have potential. And I say that because like you said, the trope thing was there with Kristen Wiig. Now I don't have a problem with tropes in movies if you come at it with a new angle.
Hmm.
In the past it has always been a trope. This trope has always been, oh, it's a corporate greed. I'm reading
Hmm.
thematically into it, but it's like corporate greed versus common people,
Hmm.
what it can do to them and stuff like that, and how you as a corporate person forget your humanity type thing. Here they were coming at it with the angle key, good things don't come easily. So even if you are a shy, timid person, you have all these obstacles in your way. You have to work towards getting better. And I thought, okay, I haven't seen that before. That's good. And then it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If Cheetah wasn't in this movie, what would change?
Not really, nothing much.
Nothing. She was at the end, she was an extra bodyguard for Pedro.
Yeah.
That's it.
Basically.
And we'll get to that final fight scene later. But
Okay,
yeah,
wait.
her.
I want to
I was.
know how do you feel about the way they handled Steve Trevor and his return?
Fuck all.
Fuck all, right?
Because see, nowhere in the movie is it set up that people can come back in different people's bodies.
Yeah.
And here's my thing. Why?
Why? Just have him return as
Because
it is.
yeah, because just have him return as he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Because
Oh,
okay,
but
and
like
I
you're
love
trying
how
to cheat death. You're not cheating anything. It's a different person.
and I love how like people pointed this out later on Twitter and all, but like Patty Jenkins kind of turned a blind eye to that. That the fact that Wonder Woman, okay, number one, she hasn't been over this one guy she met and she was with for a couple of days 6 decades ago. Take it. Fine, but fine, you're old fashioned like that. Cool, fine, I'll have that.
That's
Cool.
fine. That's fine.
Okay, you meet this guy, and the movie sets this up, right? That it's not Steve Trevor's face, like it's a different guy's body and
It's a
face.
different guy, yeah.
It's just that she is perceiving him as Steve Trevor.
As Steve. So the movie
Yeah.
makes him look like Steve.
Yeah, yeah. So which is fine, like for audience perception and all, that's fine. But from the logic within the movie logic, it's not Steve's body or face. It's this some random guy, right? She fucks him. So they fuck.
Stuckman actually pointed this out.
Many people have pointed this out.
That guy,
Yeah.
what happened to his life?
Yeah.
His job, his friends, his family, did they not notice that he was hanging out with this superhero?
Yeah. So
What if he had a wife?
also, Wonder Woman gave no fucks at all about this other guy's. What the fuck? Like, can you imagine if the roles were reversed? Can you imagine the uproar?
That would be exactly. I mean, yeah, that is still there. But I'm just imagining. I'm really imagining this now. What if that guy had a wife, and she just came back one day and found Gal Gadot in their bed? I'm sure she would be like, "Ha, bhaiya, chalo, this is fine." But it still doesn't make sense. And usually I
Yeah.
don't like nitpicking at movie logic like this, but this was too fucking stupid.
Yeah, and because it also goes against what it sets up. Like you set up the thingy, okay, the guy comes back in the body of another person. So
Yeah.
fine, that's kind of a limitation of the wishing stone. But then later fucking walls are erupting out of the ground like nothing.
There are no
So-
limitations to the.
so there are no
It can
rules.
spawn nuclear weapons.
Yeah,
Where are the limitations? There are no limitations.
there are no limitations.
And
So-
at first I thought when ऐसा हो रहा था कि oh you'll get the wish but it'll take something away from you.
Yeah.
I thought that they were referring to, as in Diana's case, I thought they were referring to कि this person is different but on the inside only is he Steve. And it's not Steve physically. So that is the thing taken away from her.
Acha,
That
okay.
she at the back of her mind will know that this is another person.
Okay.
Or she destroyed a life or something. But no, she gets her powers taken away.
Also
This
on the
did
on
both
the
Spider-Mans. Spider-Man 2s.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 and Amazing Spider-Man 2. Electro and powers getting taken away.
you take something good from one of them, you take something really bad from another. Also
And you
on
make
the
both of them bad.
yes, and on the topic of powers taken away, right? So fine, she's got her powers taken away. She's weak throughout most of the film, and then in the third act, she gets her powers back. Now, two things happen, right? When she gets her powers back, A, she learns how to fly, sort of. Like Wonder Woman flying in that scene, she's still not flying like Superman flies. She's kind of like gliding through the air, sort of like that. Then she gets the gold suit, right? The Asteria ka suit. What the fuck is the point of the suit? In the end, if A, she has her powers, B, Cheetah just smashes through the suit anyway, like it's nothing. So what the
And
fuck
the
was the point?
wings, the coolest part of the suit,
Yeah, the wings
the
are.
wings break off.
My God. So it like okay, generally I know when like superhero movies, like some people complain that, oh, this guy is getting a new suit just to sell more toys. But
Yeah.
generally in movies they kind of explain stuff like this
See,
away.
yeah, they explain, and even the biggest culprit of this, which is Batman and Robin,
Hmm.
they very clearly said, yes, we do want to sell more toys. Hence, new suit. Whereas here, it's really blatantly obvious that like nothing. There was nothing. There was no.
It was
I feel most of this movie could just be fixed by asking the question why to a lot of things. Like, okay,
yeah.
Steve Trevor. Okay, let's get back to Steve Trevor.
Hmm.
He was a bigger MacGuffin than that fucking wishing stone because he's not a character.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything much other than give her that one line. Flying is just feeling the air and
Yeah, yeah.
wanting to fuck the air and the clouds and I don't know, whatever. And
Yeah, and
Toy Story did it better. Falling with style, bitch.
so yeah, Steve Trevor,
I
right?
do,
So
I do like, I will say, I do like the scene where she's getting to fly and stuff. But that
yeah,
also, the new suit has wings, and then the wings break off.
wings break off. Okay, so the like when she introduces the wings, right? She's like the suit. He's like, okay, this is like the most powerful suit in the world. A great Amazonian warrior used it, and she held off basically the rest of mankind. Okay, using that suit. Okay, Cheetah, which this movie says ki, like she has the same powers as Wonder Woman. Cool.
Who looks like she's a character from Cats.
Actually, Cats did it better. Cats had the audacity to show those characters in daylight because they knew our CGI is still fine.
No, they knew our CGI is shit, but we still have the balls to do this. It's like we're fucking up so much, but we have to hide it all somehow.
Yeah.
Why?
And she's clearly thrown in, like even this felt like like Patty Jenkins just wanted to focus on the idea of it that she gets Wonder Woman's powers and all, but like the studio was no, you have to throw in a boss fight at the end. Because like you remove
Yeah, this
her,
was definitely
you
like,
remove her, there is no third act fight. It's just the scene with like Wonder Woman convincing the rest of the world. That's it. So, also okay, and yeah, there's so many logic problems with this movie, and generally you would say like we are nitpicking, but it's not nitpicking when the movie is breaking its own
it
rules.
really is not. Yeah,
It's not.
it's trust me, it is not nitpicking because it's a
These are
problem that
fundamental problems.
runs throughout the movie. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
built in the foundation of the movie. Uh, yeah, it was just it took itself way too seriously and just stumbled upon itself. It was
Also,
trying to be
I
so
love
serious and
how
epic and
I love how when Maxwell Lord is like towards the end, he's asking everyone to make a wish, right? And everyone's making a wish, and it's all chaos across the world. And you're telling me, fucking what, 7 billion people or whatever are making a wish. No, not one of them is like, I wish this all went away, or like, no. Is everyone selfish? Is everyone making weird selfish claims like, oh, I wish I had $1 million, or that old guy who was saying, I wish I had a farm, but fucking animals came out of nowhere. Like,
and
what?
that is also a double-edged sword because nobody because yeah, see there we're not saying everyone needs to be selfless, but out of
Yeah,
7 billion, even one person didn't say, oh, I wish this all went away.
yeah,
Now, if you flip that, that is also a problem with the movie because it is said that everyone relinquishes their wish.
yeah,
Out of 7 billion people, there is not one selfish person who didn't relinquish their wish.
yeah. And like
You
I
think,
saw this come up with on the John Campea show, which is another great YouTube show. You should check it out, where they were discussing this thing, right? And someone pointed out that so the way she's communicating with the rest of the world is she somehow magically has found a way to lasso around Maxwell's leg, right? And because Maxwell is connected to everybody, she's kind of speaking to everybody. Well, A, that whole idea that, oh, I can touch people through radio waves, what the fuck,
We will
is
get to
lousy
that.
as fuck. B, the lasso of truth does not work that way. It doesn't touch something and the thing is touching you, so the lasso is
Yeah,
affecting you.
because
What the
and you
fuck?
notice how the lasso of truth didn't make anyone tell the truth in
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
It was just more of
actually.
it was a, oh, I need this, I need the lasso of truth to do this. Oh,
Also,
guess what? It can.
yeah, yeah. And Lasso was such a get out of jail free card in every situation.
Totally.
Where I
It was,
remember
oh,
this.
this will give Steve exposition.
Yeah.
This will let me communicate with everyone. Oh, now I can wrap around fucking lightning bolts.
Yeah, I love. I think there's two scenes with the lasso like during combat. The first at the White House fight when Cheetah, I think it's like Cheetah throws someone, and Wonder Woman she sees that and she basically lassos a chair behind the guy so the guy would fall on the chair. ठीक है, which looks so fucking corny when like in camera. It looks very corny. And the other one is when in the I think it's in Egypt, right? Egypt? Yeah, it's in Egypt in the chase sequence when someone fires a bullet at Steve, and like she sees the bullet and she uses the lasso to kind of flick it away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, I get you're really good with the lasso. You're really good with the lasso, but it's a little OP in this movie.
Yeah, but the lasso is just like it got to a point where she can touch people with the lasso and they will die. That's what the lasso was in this movie. It was just, oh, this can do everything now. This is God mode. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and at that point, it's like, isn't then the lasso more useful than the wishing stone? Why are people going after the lasso? Speaking of wishing
Oh.
stone, let's get to Pedro Pascal.
Mhm.
Okay, I loved Pedro Pascal in this movie.
Yeah.
Let me clarify. I did not like his character. I loved him.
Yep.
Uh, he was just having too much fun with this, and you can see it in the meme template itself. Life
Oh
is good,
yeah,
but
life is good, but it can be better.
just the expressions he's making in those, you're like, this guy is hamming. It
Oh.
wasn't, like I said, it wasn't Ewan McGregor in Birds of Prey,
Hmm.
but it was still fun.
Yeah.
But his arc, which was just he wants to be the best, he wants to be the number one guy in the world, and but he also wants to connect to his son. That son felt like such a, like, बस डाल दिया उसे उधर,
Mm.
because you need to give him some dramatic value. You need to have him care about something after his arc is over.
I like the
It,
relationship like
shit.
at the start when they introduce the son and all. I really like Pedro Pascal is really like he's fucking so good in every scene, especially with the kid. But then everyone forgets about that. And
Everyone forgets about the kid, and like, because there's so much chaos and all, and I
yeah,
get that chaos was the point of the thing,
yeah,
but why not have more scenes with the kid? Why not have him be something other than, hey dad, I want to spend time with you?
yeah,
That's it. That's all the kid did. And even at the end, I did you notice how the kid was just roaming amongst all the debris
uh-huh.
and the chaos, and then Pedro Pascal just finds him near the White House.
Yeah. He just
Just,
magically shows up.
oh, he's just there now. Any other movie,
Yeah.
I really won't say this, but this movie is too stupid. So all of this shit needs to be pointed out. There was that. There was. I was really thinking. I was waiting so much for that the arc which is set up in the first scene to come back at some time.
Hmm.
In the first half preferably. But it just doesn't come back till the third act. Now the third act I actually didn't mind of the
Hmm.
movie. because that's when the story kind of comes together, and it's when Diana is forced to make decisions and everyone else is also forced to make decisions. And I was like, why couldn't this be throughout the rest of the movie? This movie could have been at least 40 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
Had the pace been better, had the dialogue been better written and faster pace, had it just been more witty and fun, had they thought through a lot of things like Kristen Wiig's existence in the movie, Steve Trevor's existence in the movie, it's it was very, I hate calling movies lazy, but this was fucking lazy.
Yeah. Like
Getting to
I.
also the way the movie looks,
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was shot on film.
The first one was. I don't know about this one.
uh at least the IMAX scenes are definitely shot on film. uh
I'll
but
just look it
even
up.
the rest of it, I think it's shot on film. uh
Technical specifications. Ariflex 235, 235. Yeah, it looks film to me.
it looks film, right? Did you notice how flat the lighting was?
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
like, you're shooting on film and you don't have depth in your lighting. What's the point of shooting on film? Light looks so fucking sexy on stock film and not on digital.
Hmm.
Why would you not make use of that? Especially considering the marketing of this movie. The posters look like unicorns bukake on them,
Yes.
and it looks like rainbows had fucking orgies on the posters. And then the final fight scene with Diana and
Oh,
Cheetah
it's the same guy who
looks,
did the cinemat. That's weird.
what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. He did both
उसका
of these movies.
असिस्टेंट सिनेमा डिफरेंट हुआ होगा, लाइट पर्सन कैफर कुछ भी डिफरेंट हुआ होगा, because the light looks shit. The final scene, like, this looked like it was going to be so fun and colorful and overly saturated and visually
Mm-hmm.
appealing, and the last fight scene looks like Fant Four Stick. I bet a
Fan
year
post.
before they had a great version of this.
A wonderful version of
A
this.
wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah.
chicken.
So I was just so fucking disappointed, yeah, with this. It was. Oh yeah, let me get to why this is Batman Forever and not Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because Batman Forever, Cheetah and Pedro are basically the two sides of Riddler from that movie. Because
Hmm.
Riddler in the beginning is shy and timid and whatever, and his plan is to use TV waves or radio waves to
Fuck.
brainwash people.
Fuck, I forgot. Yeah, that's totally what it is. Oh god, how could you? Why didn't you
The
remind?
fucking Batman Forever. What's the budget of this movie?
Oh wait, I'll have to see. But it's the first one was what, like just under 100 million or something, no? I
Yeah, but
think.
not like much under 100. It was still a high budget movie.
This one budget 200 million. No, fuck no.
Motherfucker.
That sounds way too
There
much.
are 3 action scenes in the movie. Where did the budget go?
The first one was 120 to 150. Okay, fine, I can believe that.
Where did
200.
the budget go? The VFX look like shit. There's barely any action scenes.
There's like
I
five
don't think
characters.
there's exactly.
So like five main actors
And I
basically.
know Maximax. Okay, there were a lot of extras in the movie. I don't think extras cost 200 million. Nolan अभी बोल रहा है, yes, they don't.
Yes. all the, all of his what do you call the fucking the where does it take place? Tenet ka first scene in a
Talon.
no, like what do you call it? Audit
Opera House.
opera.
Yeah.
He's done way too many opera house type ka scenes. Every extra is just watching. No, we
He
don't.
did Dunkirk.
He did Dunkirk.
But then, like, we were told to dress up in shitty 40s war clothes. We were told to huddle up and be sweaty and dirty and swim in the water. We didn't cost 200 million.
Uh,
Patty Jenkins needs to stop doing cocaine, I think.
Uh, this body so
Yeah.
cool.
And I'd be fine if there was not enough Wonder Womaning in the movie, if the rest of the movie was still intriguing in terms of character,
Hmm.
but it's just not. It is too fucking plot driven, and it gets distracted way too much.
Also,
All,
I have a small personal like thing for the third movie because they are of course doing a third movie,
of
and they're
course.
gonna do a spin-off of the Amazons. So there's that. Enjoy that. See, I am done. Please, no more slow motion bullet scenes with Wonder Woman. I am tired of them at this point. I'm just done with
Yes,
those. See, they look cool.
that
The
felt like more of a Snyder thing, to be honest. That really felt like a Snyder thing, not a Patty Jenkins thing.
yeah, I
Because
mean,
if you've seen this movie called Justice League,
you can never tell if it's a Snyder thing because Justice League में 90% is reshot, so you never know if it's Snyder ka thing or it was something in the reshoots.
you're saying slow mo is not a Snyder thing.
Slow mo is a Snyder thing, but like this thing, right? Where so like even, if we're talking about Snyder, Wonder Woman made a debut in BVS. There was no slow motion bullet scenes. There were cool slow motion action sequences. In the first Wonder Woman, it was really cool. Like there's a couple of shots which I remember from the trailer which were there, right? Like slow motion action sequences, especially with the bullets. Like, fuck, I get it. She can deflect bullets with her braces. I get it. I get it. I don't need to see that 15 different times just. And they do it so many times in this movie. I told you that scene where she flicks off the bullet with the rope.
Yeah,
There's the, in the White House sequence, she's deflecting the bullets with her, this thing,
with the lasso.
with the lasso. Um, like how many oh and in the third act I remember this, and in the third act when she flies down and she's fighting all the guards, right, and some sniper or something shoots at her, and it's a very cool like slow mo shot following the bullet, and she's doing the whole this thing, the Wakanda but discounted thing.
The this thing
Yeah,
that is always done in slow mo.
yeah, and I am tired of that. Like I get it, but surely she can do more cool, like do something different, because that bracelet move, I get it's powerful, but it's been way overdone, and it
Yeah, it's
please
they needed
for
to
the
put
third
so
one,
much more effort into this movie creatively.
yeah, for the third one, fine, you're doing a third one, cool, put your best work in, make a good movie, but like,
And don't have Steve Trevor in it, for fuck's sake.
yeah, don't have Steve Trevor in it, please don't.
And even if you do,
No,
actually, you know what? Don't. Just don't.
just don't give them
Don't, please.
ideas. Don't.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Which I am,
And please
and
watch better movies before making the third one.
they've said that that the third one, if they do it, they'll like 99% sure they're gonna set it in the modern day, which I'm like, fine, thank
Thank,
God, because
thank God.
here, like in the first movie, there was actual plot and character reasons why
Yeah,
it's
where
set in that
the
period.
thematic value was directly related to war.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And it was World War One, not
Hmm.
World War Two, which is the only war fucking shown in most movies,
Hmm.
other
Hmm.
than Pearl Harbor.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's some good bullshit. So
So like, and yeah, even then, like, what's the okay, so regarding the 80s aesthetic, right? And you when you said that all the posters and all look so colorful and all that, I remember some stills they had put out before, like a year back, because this movie was delayed, right, so many times. So I remember some promotional like posters, and there was one photo, do you remember? It's Diana in front of many like CCTV screens, and it's just her. It's a really cool photo, like really good looking still. Where was that in this movie?
yeah,
Where,
that security room she had like 4 screens.
yeah, no, I'm not saying like that exact thing. I'm saying just that feel, that color, the lighting, that क्या बोलते, that 80s that brightened aesthetic, which was there in the mall scene thoda bahut, but then it's kind of dropped off. Like,
It was only in the mall
yeah,
scene. It
yeah.
was nowhere else.
Also, there was no point in setting it in the 80s, really.
there was nothing relevant to the 80s that couldn't have been done in modern day. I
Yeah.
guess modern day more because his whole plan revolves around, oh, this new technology we have called TV.
Wait. You're
I
telling me
think
I can
that's
touch people? I can touch people, not without their consent. Jesus Christ. It can connect me to people.
like
And
I love that he
even the
hangs.
president, when he's explaining it, he's like, yeah, but pagal hai kya ye?" Yeah, but not in that way. Dude, what are you smoking? No.
When the president of the United States says something is stupid, it is stupid, guys. And here's the thing. I love that he's hamming in this movie because literally the scene where he turns into the stone and the stone like
Hmm.
vanishes into sand, he literally makes an O face while
Yes.
he's turning into the stone. That's hilarious. It's just the script. Even Kristen Wiig is a good actress, and that see, you know she's a good actress because she can do comedy, and if you can do comedy, you can do drama. Just write a better fucking script.
Yeah.
It's okay. All the problems in the direction, all the logical inconsistencies would have been fine if the story was good. But guess what?
Oh,
Yeah, guys, I know
God.
we're bashing this movie a lot, but like,
Yeah, I mean, we said our positive things
eh,
at the
problem
start,
yaar,
and
kya kare?
there are problems. You can't do anything about it. I
So
mean, you can do
disappointing.
something. You
So
can do.
fucking disappointing.
Yeah. But yeah, let's do our closing thoughts because I think we've touched on basically everything.
Wow, we're done already?
Like why stretch it out? Unlike the movie.
Yeah, yeah. If there's one thing we've learned, don't stretch things further than they can be.
Strictly rated PG-13.
Because
Wonder Woman theme starts playing.
also, yeah, I said I like Zimmer in the movie, but there not a single scene that I remember at least where that theme properly played. It was just
Yeah, no.
variations of it.
Yeah, it was just variations of it.
Why not?
When I think of the music, just like three things stick. The first is like the opening shot where they kind of start off with that motif. That's really well done. The second is the flying scene where he uses an older music piece which I've heard 1,000 times, and the third is the Beautiful Lie, the Martha scene wala music,
Mm-hmm.
which was very like distracting in that scene because I have a very sharp ear for that. Like BVS ka music is really good. I really love BVS ka score with Zimmer and Junkie XL, right? So amazing score they did for that movie.
Yeah, BBS score is awesome.
That I think they did
Oh, also
for.
one more thing I liked in the movie I forgot to mention,
Hmm.
the very moment where Diana leaves Steve. I really like that moment
Hmm, hmm,
somehow.
hmm.
Throughout the movie, I'm not feeling them at all. In that moment, I was like, shit, this is good. Why is this good all of a sudden?
Yeah. I think it's.
As if you remember, it's just done in a long take and she just leaves him.
Yeah.
And like it's over. There's no like last look or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is very weird considering this was inspired by the 80s. Like
Yeah.
you can do shit like that, but you can't make the rest of the movie good, bro.
Oh God. Fine. So
And yeah, all the moments that were coming back to Kristen Wiig, all the moments that were उसका basically क्या था? Okay, could you figure out what her thing was that was taken away?
so she basically lost her
Humanity
humanity,
and her warmth
basically.
and stuff, no?
Yeah.
So yeah, all
But
the moments that were trying to show that, oh, she's sort of losing that were so cheap. Where she's beating up that one guy and that
yeah,
homeless beggar who she always gives money to was like,
yeah.
what are you doing? And she
Okay.
just runs
She
away.
just fucks off. Yeah. If
$200 million budget.
200 million. Where the fuck? Seriously, I'm surprised. Like, how did this movie get $200 million? Where did that money go? I just want to know that because the VF.
In the posters, probably, because they look like they were made when on LSD.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the posters were really good.
Posters were awesome. The first two scenes were awesome. What happened to the rest of the movie? Surprisingly, I like the last few moments of the movie before the last scene happens, um, where she's giving her monologue and she's sort of accepted the truth and stuff like that. It's moments like that that made me think, okay, you know what, this could have been a really good story had the
Hmm.
first half been more focused on character, had the pacing been better and the story just been tighter in general.
Hmm.
This could have been really good.
Hmm.
It
Yep.
had all the pieces. Why wouldn't you just follow through? Why would you? Okay, embracing an aesthetic is one thing. Embrace the aesthetic in the direction, no, not the story.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the script was the biggest problem in the movie, dude.
Yeah. Same. Like we have basically the same opinion, like the same, mostly the same problems with the movie.
Yeah, because that is the biggest
Yeah,
problem
that
in
is
the
the
movie.
biggest problem. Oh, one quick thing. What did you think of the post-credit scene with
Fuck off.
Asteria? Hmm?
Fuck off.
I've been doing this for a long time. Oh God.
We get it. You want to pay respect to
Hmm.
the Wonder Woman of the past. That's fine. ज़्यादा हो रहा है.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll probably like if they follow through on that, then she might be in the third one in a larger role, probably. One small thing I forgot to mention. Did you know that Pedro Pascal was in the Wonder Woman pilot, the show? So they were trying to do a TV show, right? Wonder Woman ka with Adriana Palicki, the girl from Agents of Shield.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Have you seen Agents of Shield?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about this pilot.
Yeah, so like YouTube pe there are some scenes you can find where Pedro Pascal is a supporting character from that. So even I was surprised to find because like it was in
Was
some
this his revenge?
God damn. Fine. Thank God Pedro Pascal has some like Mandalorian going for him.
He would have a lot of shit going for him still. He
Yeah.
acted the fuck out in this movie.
Yeah, he was really good. So yeah, in general, that's
So yeah,
pretty much it.
I think close ही कर लेते हैं. There's nothing more to say really.
What do you wish? Like, if there's a third one, what do you wish to see in that? Like, in general. No Steve Trevor. We both agreed on that.
B,
What else?
a scene where the lasso of truth is used as the lasso of truth and not the lasso of every goddamn other thing on the planet.
Yes. No more slow motion bullet bracer thing.
हाँ,
Scene.
वो please
थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया है.
ज़्यादा हो रहा है. If you're getting Linda Carter back, please make her thing meaningful and not just have her in it because she's Linda Carter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it, I guess, mostly.
And just just maybe read the script once you're done writing it.
God. We were really brutal on this movie, but yeah, I mean, you have to do that sometimes, I guess. It's fine.
Yeah, because there's just so much wrong with the movie, and
See,
we sound like this more, yeah, because we're disappointed.
Yeah,
It's not
we
just
can
pure
only
hate.
hope that, like, if anybody is watching this, like, or not just us, but like the entirety of, like, all criticism, all reviews, and all that, right, which have a lot of like similar problems. I can just hope that they take these and learn from it and make a better movie.
Yeah, I hope if DC has shown us one thing, it's that they can learn from mistakes made by a movie, and hopefully they do that.
Yeah. So thank you for watching or listening. If you're one of the two
Shit,
people
bro,
who've been
shortest
listening,
episode. Wow.
हाँ तो थोड़ा counter
I'm kind
करना
of proud
पड़ेगा
of
ना.
us.
Yeah, I'm proud. See, if this episode does better, then like that will give us a clear signal.
That'll give us a-
कम बात करो, बहुत ज्यादा बक रहे हो तुम लोग. 1.5 घंटा बक रहे हो, मूवी बस रिकाउंट कर रहे हो, पता. So okay, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. You wanna say anything? Any closing? Anything? Goodbye. Good
Just make the
night.
third one better, please.
Make the third one better and have a wonderful day.
Fuck off.
I had to.